Before we start this episode, I would like to thank all of our members for making this possible. To become a member, click the join button below our videos. All right, this is the episode that we have to beat this night. We can't let this run rampant anymore.
Easier said than done, Joe. We've been playing Go Fish with a tentacle monster and have lost every round. What do you want us to do different?
Try not to use the cameras as much and rely on your ability to detect where the sounds are coming from.
That was my plan. The world's best security guard will adapt and overcome.
Geez, you read like ChatGPT sometimes, Donald.
What's ChatGPT?
So you know the advancement of artificial intelligence recently, right?
Right.
Well, as the forefront of AI had been implemented in our official cybersecurity years ago, everyday citizens were able to obtain and develop source code that fetched data from a giant pool of resources to make one intelligent engine.
Put that into baby words.
I think Joe can understand that.
He's talking for himself.
I was actually referring to both of us.
Fair enough.
Big computer is the best, the very best.
Now we're talking my language.
So what about this thing?
One of its features is that it can simulate people talking to each other, or even carry out whole arguments.
So what are you saying? Do you want us to pretend that we're getting into an argument?
Let's throw up a prompt about us and see where we can get to.
Baby, have you ever heard of the quiet game?
What are you putting in?
I'm putting in the prompt that says, simulate Donald Trump asking questions to Joe Biden about the Senate. And this is what it spits out. Let's read it like a script here.
This is stupid. I'm trying to play a game here.
Let's entertain him.
Hey, Joe, I've been thinking about the Senate lately. It's a pretty important part of our government, wouldn't you say? Is this AI half-coded? Of course I know this. I'm a president, not a third-grade teacher.
Absolutely, Donald. The Senate plays a crucial role in shaping our nation's laws and policies. What's on your mind? Not that off.
Well, I always found it interesting how the Senate can impact the direction of the country. What do you think about the filibuster? Some people say it slows things down, while others think it protects minority rights. Why is it making me talk like Miss Frizzle?
It's painting you as some sort of man of courtesy and honor, Donald. Was it drunk when it made this?
It can indeed slow down legislative progress, but it's also meant to ensure that different viewpoints are considered before making significant decisions. I feel like I'm doing an educational skit for a college.
I get that, but during my time, we had a Republican majority in the Senate. I can't do this anymore. I have to play the game, and this is terrible.
That was certainly something.
To be fair, the way you guys really act isn't that documented, so the resource that it pulls from isn't that true.
It makes us look as formidable as the Teletubbies. AI must be brain dead or something.
Guys, do you know what time of the month it is?
I didn't know Jill still got those, but it is Michelle's time of the month too.
I was talking about Halloween, Barack.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant.
Gross.
I don't want to hear it. You held a Disney parade when your daughter got married.
Pixar. Disney has gone too woke for our families and needs to be condemned by DeSantis.
Anyways, we've gone this entire month of October without really mentioning Halloween. And that is a bit of an issue considering we run a channel entirely dedicated to horror games.
It's not like we're the kill count, unless we're counting how many times Ennard has strangled us with its own spinal cord.
The kill count always goes over horror movies. It's almost like a similar genre to what we do.
Let's be real, this isn't Presidents Play Horror Games, this is Presidents Play Five Nights at Freddy's, starring Baldy and Akamanto.
You think I'm not aware of that and not trying to fix it?
I know my criticism is always appreciated, Joe.
What are your guys' thoughts on Halloween anyways?
What do you expect me to say? It's a terrific time for family and sweet treats. It's always a good time, a very good time when you can dress up as something like a vampire or a monster and beg for candy.
I didn't know Lauren Boebert was a Halloween costume.
I was going to say Mitch McConnell.
Are you kidding me? Who wants to be a dying slug for Halloween?
Speaking of politicians, there's people that go as us, right?
I thought that was just common knowledge. Most young kids dress up as the people they most want to be. And I think we can all agree that everyone would want to live a day in my shoes.
I don't know. Clown shoes are pretty big. Most kids won't be able to fit in them.
Well, hospital patients don't wear shoes either, so I guess it's all even.
Don't get me started on your feet, Barack.
How did we get to talking about toes? This isn't Feet Finder. What do we think of Halloween?
We really are old.
I am a big fan of this, the entire horror genre, you name it, and I probably have either seen it or read about it. Of course, Halloween, being a tradition about horror, is on that list too.
What do you mean, the entire horror genre?
Any media related to horror, books, movies, video games, folk tales.
Wait, books? You're telling me those onion-stained eyes can read?
Not as well as they used to, but I consumed an absurd amount of horror back in the day. For example, I used to love reading Goosebumps.
Goosebumps. You just hit me with a wave of nostalgia. I entirely forgot about those books.
That's the series that R.L. Stine wrote, right?
Yeah, they were small horror stories that typically followed crazy situations that led to monsters. Sort of like a kid-friendly version of Buffy, the Vampire Slayer.
That's another thing I forgot I watched.
I remember my daughters would bring home those books from school all the time. I picked up one of those books out of curiosity, and it was about this wooden dummy that comes to life.
Yeah, you're talking about Slappy. He's pretty much the mascot of the Goosebumps series.
What's with authors and making inanimate objects come to life?
To be fair, it is a very creepy doll. It would be a missed opportunity not to make something out of it.
Speaking of, there's this game that actually has Slappy in it, along with a couple other characters. It's called Emily Wants to Play. We might have to try it out sometime. It could be fun.
Whenever you say the word fun in a horror game, it typically isn't fun. Are you serious right now?
So much for Halloween fright.
I'm not even scared anymore. I'm just annoyed. It's like FNAF 2 all over again.
Well, I think you guys have struggled enough. Considering I want this to end before we drag the series on, I think it's best if I step in and carry the workload for this one. Or at least try.
Well, throw Slappy to Ennard. He might have a solution for you.
I'm grabbing the tequila if we're going to be here another 30 tries.
Something you guys haven't commented on is the monitors in front of us. Don't they look familiar?
Wait, the one on the right is the hallways with Plush Trap from FNAF 4.
I think you meant the monitor on the left.
Yeah, that.
Obama, I think they all might be from FNAF 4. The bed and the bedroom are on the other monitors.
So what does this even mean? I thought you said FNAF 4 was just a dream.
I said that it was heavily speculated to be a dream. I never said that it was a surefire guarantee. A lot of what I said was just speculation anyways, but you can't really deny what you see.
So does that mean that the fourth game was before Sister Location?
And what does William Afton have to do with all this?
That's what the lore explanation will reveal. After the FNAF movie, I plan to explain everything then.
This might be the first time the universe has physically compelled me to say that I am not looking forward to being the world's best security guard.
So you're pretty much a jack of all trades when it comes to horror stuff, right, Joe?
I'd say so. I'm not an expert on every little thing ever, but I do know a decent amount of media around horror.
He's obsessed with it, unhealthily, if I might add.
Nothing wrong with a guy that develops hobbies over the small things in life.
Well, an adjacent subject to that matter is horror movies, Joe. Since you're the concierge of horror games, what would be your favorite horror movie?
Interesting, really putting me on the spot here. Might take some time to conjure up an answer and a reason why.
I'll go for you, Joe. If we're talking about horror movies, the cream of the crop has got to be A Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, Freddy Krueger stalks you in your dreams. How cool is that?
It is unique to say the least. An interesting twist on a slasher genre that has been mostly oversaturated.
Think about having that superpower, Obama. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Well, you know what? I'm going to torture you in your dreams tonight. How about them apples?
Freddy Krueger's victim list typically strayed alongside young adults, though.
Don't try to argue logistics with me. If the lady's going 25 miles an hour in a 40 zone, she's going to feel some pain that night.
Nice to know you don't care about what you say online.
I don't live off the opinions of the woke. Thank you very much.
We could go all day with this, but I think I have my answer, Barack.
Let's hear it from the horror guru himself.
I think my favorite movie, and the most well-constructed for natural effects, is The Thing.
The movie about the scientists in the snow?
Yeah, there's a shape-shifting creature amongst them, and they have to deduce which people it could have infected.
Everything about it is great. The story builds to an amazing finish. The practical effects are amazing. And my favorite aspect out of all of them is that the scientists are intelligent individuals. It's not just people making stupid decisions like all horror movie tropes. They're just smart people who let their humanity get the best of them.
It's interesting because while the thing itself is the main antagonist, it puts the limitation of trustworthiness on the line. They had to not only survive the thing, but they had to survive themselves as well. I think that's not very credited for the attention it's given.
Well, of course, my favorite movie might change, especially if I can see the FNAF movie coming up.
I can't wait to see the mess at the movie theater.
What's your favorite horror movie, Barack?
What's the 44th president going to pick here?
My favorite horror movie would probably have to be Jaws.
Please tell me the first one.
Of course, the first one.
Okay. We would have had a problem if you said the third movie.
The attack of the 3D printer.
Never before has a movie created a visceral fear and hatred of something as irrelevant as shark attacks. And it did it to an amazing degree. I think it was one of the first innovations as a horror movie because it massively transformed people's courage to swim in the ocean.
Sort of like it was the granddaddy of all horror movies. Yeah, that makes sense. It paved the way for a lot of movies that would follow after.
Like a true pioneer.
Wait, you got to 3 a.m. with over half your power. How did you do that?
Like I've said before, managing your power is incredibly crucial, just like the first game. It's also more difficult, too, because there isn't time after the clock that'll help us. We need to reach 6 a.m. before the power goes out.
We're on the right track so far. What's been the most challenging for you, Joe?
Just like the last game, it's imperative to pay attention to the sounds, to conserve as much power as possible. And these ears can only pick up sounds as well as they do. Luckily, this game isn't so dependent as the fourth one when it comes to audio.
So if your hearing aid starts making a crackling noise, all of America is about to see the current president take an underwater visit to Davy Jones' locker.
I think if my hearing aid starts making a crackling noise, I might already be underwater.
And it would still be better than listening to Baby ramble on like an old person at a Bob Evans.
The important thing to remember is that we're almost done with the game and we'll never have to hear this rambling session again.
Yeah, but I can't help but remember Joe talking about how the quality of the games improve over time. And I'm scared for what the next game has to offer.
Buckle your seatbelt and prepare for 3 times more yapping sessions than we have now.
I can't tell if that's sarcasm dragging in your voice or just old age. I'm hoping for the former of the two.
Maybe it's better if you don't know then.
I don't want to jump on the hype train too much, but you're already at 5 a.m. We just need to stretch to the mark a bit more, and we might have the win.
Please don't shatter the mirror, Obama. I really don't want 7 years of bad luck.
I don't even know if we have 7 years left.
However you say the old folktale, I really do not want to play through this again. A part of me is just sitting here waiting for Ennard to devour us whole.
I don't think any of us want that. This isn't even a custom night, but we really don't want to play this night for 30 more times. I'd rather eat dirt, figuratively and literally.
I think it helps we have Joe the horror sorcerer here. I allowed him to tap into my power as the world's best security guard. It's only fair that he would be doing so well.
I don't know about all of that, but Joe is performing incredibly well. He's practically spawn camping the button as soon as he hears a sound.
You have to have quick reaction times with this sort of night.
5%, Joe. Don't fall asleep on the monitors now.
I will find a way out.
And there we go. It's done.
We've been freed from the yap sessions, Obama. It's over.
That's how you know that we're getting old. We don't even celebrate that we beat the night. We're just slightly relieved at the inconvenience it posed as.
Oh, come on. You've got to admit that it's been a pretty big inconvenience. Oh, not this thing.
I forgot about this. It's been half a century since we were able to watch it.
So also do emotions sway between star-crossed lovers.
This is the vampire, right?
You burned down my house?
That answer your
You
question?
call that a house? It was like a morgue in there.
I may be undead, but you're heartless.
They don't have the best
You
communication,
need
it
to see your
seems.
son.
To be fair, I think I'm a better father than this guy.
He ate the cat.
What?
Sounds like something he got from your side of the family.
Interesting.
Well, how's this? I'm keeping the diamond ring.
The joke's on you. I found it in a kid's meal.
You bought a kid's meal?
What?
Oh, Vlad!
Clara.
What is happening?
What am I watching? Get a room at least.
Wait, is that the resolution of the
As
show?
the hair on the back of a cat stands up straight, so also does the love between Vlad and Clara stand up against all obstacles. But what about the baby?
He's actually eating
What
the
about
cat?
the
Someone
background
punt that
support?
baby.
Stay tuned next season for those answers and more.
Well, that was certainly something.
This show gets another season, but mine gets taken off the air. Make it make sense. What?
Joe?
Why is he here? And why is he doing the stanky leg in our living room?
Hey, I'm just here to eat popcorn.
Well, what do we even do about this? How did he even escape to begin with?
And now it's fading to black. And now it's the credits again.
Are you serious? That was the good ending? What does this even mean? How am I more confused than the last time?
Donald, before you start freaking out, the canon ending is the bad ending, the one where we get scooped. So you don't have to worry about the continuity of this ending.
Great. Now I only have to feel half bad about getting my skin worn.
So I guess we're on to the custom night now, right?
Actually, I don't think we'll be playing the custom night. Yes, it adds more animatronics to the playing field, but we've been playing this game for quite some time. And I want to prepare for the new movie coming up.
So wait, that's it? We're going to move on to the lore explanation now?
There's one more thing that I want to show you guys. It has to do with this game, but I personally don't want to replay each night to get it. I'll just pull a video of it up.
What the?
Is this a guy just leaving his house? What's with all the cheery music? And why is every single neighbor in the tri-state area out there waving to him?
Is this the thing you had to show us, Joe? I mean, I know it's FNAF due to the art style, but I'm confused how this relates to the game at all.
Yeah, this is it. It may be a bit confusing, but just wait some time and you'll figure out why we're watching this.
Well, there he goes. Seemingly, not a single intelligent thought going on in that brain. And I guess we're doing it all over again.
This guy is certainly a favorite amongst the neighborhood. He seems so jolly, too. I wonder why he's so happy to exist.
Is this what the Truman Show is about?
Basically.
Does this guy ever not be happy-go-lucky? Why do you walk like you have a Pringle can in the middle of your intestines?
Hey, Donald, do you notice anything weird? Like how some of the neighbors are no longer waving at him? And how his skin looks slightly darker?
Are you saying that this person resides in Harrison, Arkansas?
What? No, what does that have to do with anything?
Never mind, you wouldn't get the joke.
Do you see what's wrong with his skin now?
Wait, this is the purple guy. I didn't know he was literally purple. I thought it was just an indicator.
I think you guys can already see it, but now he's not too popular amongst his neighbors.
Yeah, some of them are even hiding behind their own houses while they watch him just saunter by. How creepy.
Willy Wonka ate the wrong gobstopper this time.
What is happening right now?
I don't even have any reaction to this anymore. This creature with the posture of a snake is who bodied the children. Yeah, everybody should be hiding from him. He looks like an overgrown eggplant.
Yeah, it must be certainly something to witness firsthand.
And the freakazoid just keeps moving on like nothing is a problem.
I don't even, wait, something is happening.
Is he trying to pose for a photo? Wait, what's moving in his body?
What am I looking at? What the?
Did he just throw up a Honda Accord? What was that?
Wait, Donald, this is us. I think we just threw up Ennard.
Is that what that was?
You won't die. You won't die. You won't die.
And now the voices are getting louder.
Why does it keep saying we won't die? We're already dead.
You won't die. You won't die.
And it's not stopping either.
You won't die.
What the?
Is he a snake? How did he just compose himself from a coil?
Well, wait, Donald, look at the drain. Look at all those eyes. That really was Ennard.
I give up. I physically cannot make sense of this game anymore. I was following with the first 4 games, and now it's like I just got thrown into the middle of a hedge maze.
I know it's confusing, but to briefly summarize it, we didn't actually die when we were scooped. Ennard used our body to escape, but we end up throwing it up because it can't fit in there. Somehow we wind up living.
I'm not going to ask. Just take us to the 6th game, Joe.
Let me recap. We work at this sister location. It's haunted. The owner's daughter dies. We end up getting lied to and scooped, and eventually we end up throwing up what was put in us. Simple enough?
Just take us to the 6th game, Joe.